One of the sticking issues for Americans right now, and some of it has to do with civil rights and some of the things that they're touching, is the cost of housing. And the Trump administration is making a housing central issue in his affordability push. Housing and Urban Development Secretary Scott Turner is leading that charge. The secretary has honed in on a severe problem for Americans who are seeking help and affordable housing. It's a loophole that gives families with illegal immigrants federal housing that could go to U.S. citizens. It doesn't. Secretary Turner says he will close that loophole and free up HUD funding to help American families in need. And according to HUD data, just to give you an example, nearly 200,000 tenants have not proven they qualify for the government assistance that they are getting. And the point that you'll hear the secretary make is they're not even asked to qualify whether or not they're U.S. citizens in this country. They don't have to show anything. They just show up with their relatives and on the sneak and fraud stay in that housing that American citizens should get. And there are some 24,000 illegals, or fraudsters, as I call them, taking up thousands of homes. In focus with me now, Scott Turner, Housing and Urban Development Secretary. Great to see you. So first of all, you're rolling this out. Talk to me about the loophole.
Well, great to be with you here. So this is a new proposed rule from HUD when you talk about the mixed status loophole. During the Biden administration, tens of millions of illegal aliens came across our borders unchecked, unvetted, and because of that, it put a great strain on our housing market, made the costs go up. American taxpayer dollars are meant to be for American people only. We prioritize under President Trump American people, and so when you have illegals that are living inside of HUD-funded housing, they're taking homes from the American people that actually need them and that are here legally. And so what we did, we put out this new proposed rule to close this loophole down, said, listen, you have to show verification that you are an American citizen if you want to live in HUD-funded housing. The mixed status came because others came and said, well, we have one, quote unquote, legal person living in the home, so others would come, cousins, relatives, friends and associates.
But not legally.
But not legally, and said, hey, I do not contend my immigration status. And so that's how you get the mixed status loophole. And so we closed that because American money goes to American people and American people only.
Got it. We have a lot to get to, so I'm going to get to this. HUD is also focusing on the Federal Opportunity Zones program to expand home ownership, and those zones give tax breaks for building in underdeveloped areas. Mr. Secretary, you have been visiting some of these most successful zones because you started this in President Trump's first term. And we have some of the pictures here from Idaho to North Carolina to Green Bay, Wisconsin. President Trump signed this program into law nearly a decade ago, and the administration says they've created more than 500,000 jobs, lifted more than 1 million Americans out of poverty, and the president also signed an order in March cutting red tape for even more affordable housing. Real quickly, tell me what's next in this program.
So with the working family tax cuts, the One Big Beautiful bill, if you will, it has made opportunity zones now permanent. The first iteration was transformative. As you alluded to the stats, there are 1 million people living out of poverty, hundreds of thousands of jobs, 400,000 new housing units. So we're very excited for Opportunity Zones 2.0 to bring transformation for new job creation, new housing for the American people with an emphasis on rural development.
Now, I understand that this is bipartisan. You say that, in fact, you've been helping Democrats in their cities probably more than Republicans in terms of some of the mayors and governors you're talking to.
Well, when you think about poverty, you know, poverty doesn't have a party. Housing doesn't have a party.
Right.
When you go into these cities across America, opportunity zones are in the most distressed, under-resourced places in our country, urban, tribal, and rural. And I have not had one instance going into these cities, some that are led, most that are led by Democrat mayors. When you have poverty, you want a solution. When you have blight and dilapidated downtowns, you want a solution. And so opportunity zones are a great public-private partnership, transcending party lines, transcending politics to help the American people achieve the American dream.
All right. Well, part of that covers homelessness. And the Los Angeles mayor's race has put homelessness back into the national spotlight. We should always be concentrating on it, but you know in California they're dealing with a lot of it. Spencer Pratt torched incumbent Mayor Karen Bass over her handling of the crisis. Pratt failed to advance to the runoff. However, Bass and her progressive opponent, Nithya Raman, will still have to answer for the rampant homelessness in America's second largest city. We do know it's not just California, though. We're seeing cities across the nation struggle with growing homeless populations. Cities like New York City, Chicago, And again, back to California, because there's so many of them, it's not just LA, it's San Francisco too. Your department, Mr. Secretary, reported 750,000 homeless people in this country as of last January. That's up 27% since 2013. What's happening?
So since 2013, the Housing First model has been a failed model. Housing First has created a homelessness industrial complex. What does this mean? Warehousing poverty, warehousing homelessness. We want to have a different paradigm shift. We don't want to award people just because you have many people inside of a warehouse that are homeless. We want to have success, say, not the number of units filled, but people moving out of homelessness to self-sufficiency. Housing First is a failed model. We want to focus on transition, getting people transformed, healed, and back to a life of self-sufficiency. So we're not funding programs, we're funding people and results.
Okay, real quickly, how do you do it?
We do it step by step, and you have to make the hard decisions. You have to care about the American people, like President Trump, America first. We don't want to just warehouse people. We want to get people healed, transformed, and back to a life of self-sufficiency. So
you'll purpose money not just to the buildings, but through these transformation type programs to keep people on their way.
Exactly. You know, there's been record funding, over $4 billion for our continuum of care program, and yet there's been record homelessness. We have to switch the play. That play is not working. This is a new play. Not just permanent supportive housing, but transition housing and wraparound services.
Secretary Turner, thank you. We had a lot of breaking news today. This is critically important. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.